Everybody, welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to a match reaction show. It's finished. Manchester United nil, Real Sociedad 1. It's a reality check in some ways for Manchester United. It is because I think after 4 wins, there might have been a few fans who were getting carried away. There were people in the media who were probably getting carried away, talking title challenges, top four stuff. That, that is all irrelevant. I mean, this match I think shows exactly what Manchester United's problem is. And the reality is, while they do have a good first 11, a good first 11 that can challenge for top four, the reserves, I mean, there's some serious problems in the depth in the squad. That there's serious problems there. I thought we'll talk about the game itself. I think the sad part for Erik Ten Hag today will be the fact that I don't think any of the players that played not outside of the regular starters, I don't think any of them made a case for themselves to get more game time or to play or to be starting games. I don't think anyone. I'm not including Garnacho and McNeil obviously in that, but of the rest of them, I really don't think anybody made a case where they said, oh, I should be a starter, I should be playing more. I think everybody is kind of where they are. Now, United have lost because of a dodgy decision. Let's be honest with that. I don't think that's harsh to say. I mean, that wasn't a penalty. That penalty wasn't a penalty. I don't know what the referee saw. I don't know what VAR saw, but that wasn't a penalty. For me, at least, it wasn't a penalty. If you think differently, let me know in the comments. But it wasn't a penalty because it comes off of Lissandro's thigh and onto his shoulder or elbow, and that's not a penalty. But the ref gave it, and it was well taken. I mean, David De Gea and penalties, we know that he's not a very good penalty shot stopper anyway. So it's well taken, but you can't rely on that. The sad part again is the fact that I don't think United created a lot of chances aside from the last 5-10 minutes, but they really didn't create a lot. They never looked like they were going to score in this game, and that is a problem. I thought Ten Hag's personnel changes didn't help as well. I mean, Fred playing in number 10 was a little bit odd. I have a feeling that he was doing that in order to let Eriksen play the deep line playmaker role, so he wasn't playing as a false nine or as like a second forward. He's trying to get him to play as a deep line playmaker. But the thing is, Fred just whenever he was on the ball, he just couldn't do anything with it, and I don't think that worked. It was interesting to if it worked, we would probably call him a genius, but it didn't work. Then Victor Lindelof at right back, I think that was where the game was lost because once Lindelof went out to right back, you kind of, and I'll talk about this his centre back part later, but once he went to right back, it almost gave Takefusa Kubo license to bomb past the fullback because Dalot had kept him quiet in the first half, but Lindelof doesn't have the pace nor the awareness to play that position in the way that Dalot does. So they lost that attacking impetus, obviously, and with that, Kubo also had license to just go forward. And he went and he had put in a wonderful cross before the corner that led to the penalty. He put in a wonderful cross which Martinez cleared. Before that, there was another cross that he put in which Martinez didn't get to, and Sola should really have scored, but he missed his header. So the chances came from that right hand side of Manchester United. They came because of that change of playing Lindelof at right back, which begs the question: why was Lindelof playing right back when you've got Van Bissaka on the bench? And that is a problem. And with Van Bissaka on the bench, Luke Shaw on the bench, neither of them played today. So you've got two fullbacks who the manager clearly doesn't trust in a game like this. You've got Donny Van de Beek is injured, Anthony Martial is injured. If it doesn't, I mean, who's going to be playing as the forwards? Like even Antony started today, so there's a lot of depth issues for Manchester United. They have numbers. The problem is the quality. I don't think Casemiro had a good game, and also people say Casemiro had a good game. I think it was pretty average. And on that performance, I could see why McTominay starts because as much as I don't like saying it, McTominay probably is a more progressive passer than Casemiro is. At least in the first 60-70 minutes, I thought McTominay. To me, it looked like McTominay was a better player than Casemiro. And I know that's not true. I know Casemiro is a much better player than McTominay ever will be. But just in that position and in the role that what Ten Hag demands, it just looks like Casemiro is not as much of a progressive passer as McTominay. So I don't know what's going on there. And I don't think Fred and Casemiro even worked as a double pivot. I think it's too defensive. It's too slow. It just didn't work. But in terms of personnel, what I will say is Cristiano Ronaldo for me, I think today was the first time that when I watched the game, I thought Cristiano Ronaldo looked his age. Like he looked like, I know he's not had a good start this season anyway, but he's coming on as a second half substitute most of the time, they're trying to hold on to a lead or, the game is already lost. So he's come today in a position where he's starting, right? He's got the chance to dictate the pace and the tempo. And I just don't think he looked up for it. I mean, he had a couple of good chances. There was a couple of good headers. He did score as well, which was still ruled out offside correctly. But there were some half chances that the old Ronaldo would have probably converted. He was beaten for pace quite a couple of times. So to me, I just feel like he looked like his age, and he looked like someone who's not supposed to be a starter for a club like Manchester United at that age. I think he looked like that player for the first time. I think that I've seen him. So that is an issue for Ten Hag to figure out what he's going to do because you can't really have Ronaldo just being a bench player, but he's clearly not good enough to start at this moment in time. for Manchester United. So that's an issue. But the real problem, and again, if you look at the stats now, people will say Maguire had an average game, not a good game, not a bad game. They'll say Maguire had an average game. If you just look at the stats, and I haven't looked at the stats, but if I look at Maguire's stats, I'm sure that's what they would tell me. He said he had an okay game, a 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10 performance. If you just look at the stats. The problem is you've got to go beyond the stats, and I think there's issue. Now, United have lost three games this season. Who has started in all 3 of those games? It's Harry Maguire. And while he didn't have a bad game statistically, the problem is his presence on the pitch creates a lot of issues tactically, and I saw that today as well. I mean, number one, him and Malacia was tucking in quite a lot of left back. Something that we noticed happened a lot with Shaw. We noticed it happening with Van Bissaka as well. Whenever Maguire plays, you almost, the fullback has to tuck in to kind of protect him. So you already protect him. So you lose out on that sort of fullback dynamism that you get from Malacia and Dalot otherwise when, Maguire is not playing. So that was the first issue. The second issue was as soon as Lindelof went over to the right back and Martinez came on, Maguire being the senior defender, being the guy good in the air, he should have been the one to say, I'm going to mark Alexander Solar. The Solar coming on also changed the game, by the way. But Solar was a good tactical substitution from Alguacil because he noticed there was an issue. But, because Solar knew that he has got to latch on to Martinez. What happens? He's got to latch on to Martinez because that's the weak link, right? And Maguire should be going, no, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to protect you. I'm going to make sure that either I'm cutting out the passes or I'm going to be, putting myself onto Solar so Martinez is free. Maguire doesn't like doing that. He never does that. Varane always does that. He always makes sure that Martinez is a spare man, that he's not the one who's marking. But for some reason, Maguire just refuses to do that. I don't know whether it's stubbornness, whether it's lack of confidence in his own ability. He never does that. He always wants to be the spare man, and I feel like it's because when he's a spare man, he can win headers and he can make himself look good. Whereas if he's stats look good because he wins headers because he's the free man, right? It's much different when you have to compete with someone to win a header and when you have to just win a free header. So I'm not and again, if it look like I'm going in on Maguire, maybe I am. But the things that I'm noticing with Maguire, I mean, I just think it's having a detrimental effect on the team. I know some people go, oh, look, Ronaldo started and United lost. But the real culprit here is not just Ronaldo. He had a bad game. But I think Maguire is also just as much of a problem in this team because I thought Lindelof was okay. I mean, he's played out of position in the second half, so I'm not really going to blame him too much for that. I think it was okay. Maguire, I mean, and maybe United can accommodate Lindelof. Yeah, I don't think they can accommodate both Lindelof and Maguire in the squad. That's the issue. So they're gonna have to, of course, at some point choose. But Maguire just, I mean, that goal as well. By the way, the chance that came before where Martinez had to kick it away. Again, it was Maguire who was left it free, and so Martinez had to put a later challenge in. And this is something that I don't necessarily Maguire. I'll make this final point before we move on. There's again a moment. Now this is of his ball control. Right? He takes the ball and he charges. Like he's charging down. Like on one side he's charging. And normally players do that with purpose. You think, okay, he's going to play a pass. He's going to play a forward pass. He's trying to set himself up. So find gaps. Maguire charges down from left to right, and then all he does is he plays a 2-yard pass to, I think it was Lindelof or might have been Casemiro. He just plays a 2-yard pass. I was like, so why do you charge so much? It's almost like you almost feel like he's got this purpose and this drive, and then all of a sudden it's just a 2-yard pass. So to me, that there's something. I don't know what it is. I think it's mentality, whether it's physical. I don't know what it is, but there's something there that Maguire I think has lost confidence in his own ability. Added to the fact that I don't think he has that much ability to begin with. I don't see a way back for him in the starting lineup, but the problem is if Varane or Martinez get injured, you're then relying on Maguire to start games, and that's the problem. That's where I think United will struggle in their top 4 run, their top 4 chase. I think that is where they will falter because one injury is out. So hopefully in January maybe they can address it, but it wasn't a good look for him. Anyway, that really, I mean, yeah, congratulations to Real Sociedad. I thought they defended well at times. I mean, United only really threatened them, but they really did defend well. They were again deep, compact. They didn't lose their shape at any point. United didn't pull them out of shape as well. So that's again something for Ten Hag to think about as well. How do you break down deep defenses? But yeah, we'll have to wait and watch. So congratulations to Real Sociedad, especially like Real Sociedad if you're a fan. And you've seen that performance. I think it was pretty good today, and a good 3 points as well. Keep in mind the top team has to play 2 less games in the knockout stages because they'll go straight into round of 16. So you want to finish top of the group, and I think United just handed the initiative over to Sociedad in that sense. So it's a good result for Real Sociedad for sure. United are going to have to buck up now. They might still qualify for the knockouts. The question is whether they'll finish first or second. I think that first just became a whole lot more difficult. Anyway, do let me know your thoughts about the game as well. Always happy to hear from you guys. And also remember to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, follow us on Facebook. We're getting closer to 100 subscribers. So your support would be really appreciated if you can help us cross that milestone. And of course, we're going to be doing quite a few videos this weekend. We might not have Premier League games, we'll have other games, and we'll cover those. So please do subscribe so you can get notified as videos drop. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye bye.